Hey guys, it's Becky with Design Bundles, and today I'm going to talk to you about bleached t-shirts. Now, this is not necessarily a new craze, but these always flare up around the fall. And you know why that is? Because they make nice distressed designs, okay? Distressed, fall, they really go hand in hand. So now is the time, if you have not done so already, grab your bleach, grab your t-shirt, and let's go ahead and get started. La 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 la, blah 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 blah. Okay, so here I am on designbundles.net, and I scored myself this really awesome leopard or cheetah print pumpkin. Okay, and of course I'm really loving, let me show you guys this up close. I'm really loving this cheetah leopard print and the hearts. So of course I had to grab it too. So I have my pattern and I have my pumpkin, and I'm going to go ahead and purchase these so that we can get started. Okay, now once I'm in Silhouette Studio, now you can do this in any designing software, it's completely up to you, but I'm going to set these up to be sublimation prints. So I'm going to go to File and Merge because I already have a window open, so I can merge instead of going to open like normal. And I've already unzipped these, you guys saw me do that. So I'm going to, I like to use the PNG formats, and I want to use, is that the pink one? I'm going to use this orange one here. Now they usually import pretty large, so if it takes a minute, don't be alarmed. All right, so this one is not bad at all. I am going to shrink it down just a little bit, and I also want to merge in my pumpkin. Let's see, JPEG and PNG. I do like to use the PNG. Those usually have a transparent background. It doesn't matter for this in particular, but it could matter in the future. Now, I know probably what you're thinking, the pattern and the pumpkin don't match up very well. That's okay, because it's not going to be that big of a deal once we get to the actual project. So what I like to do is, this is going on an adult large shirt, so I'm going to size it. And I also need to change my page setup because I will be printing on a large format. As a matter of fact, let me set to custom. Okay, can I go 13 inches wide? I'm going to change my machine to none. There we go, 13 by 19. Okay, this is the size that I'm going to print, and I want my pumpkin to be, let's do 9 inches. Now, I do want to say this is going to be a little bit smaller than 9 inches because it's measuring the outside borders here. So what I can do, if that concerns me, is I can draw a box that is 9 inches, line that up with my pumpkin, and then I can size my pumpkin manually so that it's closer to the 9-inch mark. So my clip art is actually 9.847. That's okay, that's not a big deal. Just something to know when you're using clip art. And I am going to go ahead and flip it horizontally. La 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 la, blah 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 blah. Okay, so with that in place, what I'm going to do is I am going to make this pattern a little bit larger, and I'm also going to duplicate it. Now the only reason I'm doing that is because I do want to have longer pieces, and I want to use up the rest of my space down here. Now Silhouette Studio will only print what is on the page, so just something to keep in mind, make sure everything is on there, and I'm literally going to fill up the rest of the area with this awesome cheetah pattern. I keep saying cheetah, is it cheetah or is it leopard? All right, so I'm gonna print. Now I do have to select my sublimation printer. See, there we go. I'm going to go to Preferences, and every time that I print after restarting my software, I need to re-choose my Super B 13 by 9, 13 by 19, and then Premium Presentation Paper Matte. I'm going to choose OK, hit Apply, and then I can hit Print. Now it's going to send over to my printer, and of course we will reconvene, and I'm going to show you not only pressing this on the shirt, but then applying the bleaching process. La la. Okay, so what I have here is my sublimation print. Now this is the shirt that I'm going to use. This is a style that I really like, especially this orange. It is a Gildan soft style, and it is 65% polyester, and that leaves 35% cotton. Now, there are reasons why you want to use a blended shirt like this. First of all, you need the cotton in order to be able to bleach it. Second of all, you need the polyester in order to be able to sublimate it. But do remember that because you're not subbing on 100% polyester, your print is not going to be as bright. Now, for a bleach shirt, that's fine. And that's why we're doing the bleach, so that you can see the design a little bit better, but just be prepared for that. Now, I'm going to trim all the way around. All right, now that is because sometimes, and I find this a lot with sublimation printers, you can get a little bit of ink around the outside of your paper, and I would rather not have that happen. So I just trimmed around each side, and we will sublimate this part first. And of course, I have some butcher paper over here. So what you're seeing down here on the bottom is just a heat-safe mat that I have. I'm going to grab my Cricut Easy Press. It is already heated up to 400 degrees for 60 seconds. I'm going to fold my shirt in half. That's kind of my thing. I mean, not my thing, it's a thing. Okay, that way I can get a crease before I sublimate my design on there. So here we go. Just going to pre-press that section. And it doesn't have to be for the full time. You just want to press it, get some of the moisture out of there, and give yourself that nice pressing line. And it just works out really good. It's a good habit to have. Okay, with that taken care of, I will smooth this out, and I'm going to go ahead and sublimate first. Yes, you heard that correctly. I'm going to sublimate my design first. Now, I'm going to take my design. Now, this is a design that I printed. Sometimes you can get them pre-printed from certain areas. Okay, if you want, you can use an adhesive to keep it here. I'm not moving this shirt, so this will be fine for me. I'm going to cover it with butcher paper and then heat press my design. Now, sublimation does not take a lot of pressure, but you do need consistent pressure. Another good thing about these bleach shirts is that if this is one of your first time sublimating, then it doesn't have to come out perfect, because bleach shirts are supposed to look distressed. So it just works out really good as a beginner project. Okay, now be careful when opening your heat press or moving your easy press, because since we did not use any type of adhesive or heat safe tape, we do not want this design to shift. Okay, so on this part, we are a done deal. Now you cannot reuse this butcher paper. You see you have the ink on there that transferred, and that's okay. Just know that that's a thing. All right, there is our beautiful pumpkin. Now what we want to do, and I'm going to start small just to show you guys, I'm actually going to tear around this design, okay? Because I do not want it to look like just a rectangle, obviously. I actually prefer these to look like stripes. All right, so there's one. We can use this one for another one. And it just gives it a rough edge instead of just a bland. Okay, and of course I have this entire sheet over here that I can do the same thing to. I can make these a little larger. And I probably don't even need all of these. But I tear them into little triangles. And I'm not going to use the ones with the blunt edges like that, okay? So I can use as many of these or as few of these as I want to. I'm just going to go around the shirt and press these on. Now let me also say, if I was using a different shirt, especially a white shirt or a light gray shirt, you do want to use butcher paper or a different type of blowout paper in between your shirt layers. I don't have to do that with this one. I've worked with this one before, and it is not going to bleed through to the back, but just something to keep in mind. And I like to do that kind of test anytime I'm working with a new shirt. You do want to make sure you get some along the bottom. Now my shirts seem to bunch, so I'm just going to put some off to the side over here. Now our sublimating is done. All right, this is our final effect. We got a couple stripes up here, and a couple stripes down here. All right, now don't worry if they look a little staged. After the bleaching process, they will blend in a little bit more, and I promise the shirt is gonna turn out great. So I'm gonna go ahead and prep the bleaching area, and then I'll show you guys the setup that I use. Okay, so the basics are you need it to be sunny outside, obviously. You don't want it to be raining. You need good weather conditions. You also need a bleach-safe environment. Now, on top of just this piece of hardboard that I have, you'll notice that I'm inserting a piece of cardboard into my shirt. That's just going to act as a barrier so that whenever I spray, especially the main middle pumpkin there, it's not going to saturate through my shirt all the way to the back. In addition to that, make sure you're wearing bleach-safe clothes. In my video, there was a little bit of wind blowing, and I didn't have any blowback, but that is a real possibility that you could blow the bleach that you spray back on the clothes you're wearing. I also try to give my shirt a little bit of character, so you'll notice I have done the pinch and twist on 3 of the areas, and that's just going to give some areas where the bleach cannot reach, and it just gives it a little bit of texture. Now, I'm using straight bleach. This is also cheap bleach. I have heard that the high-powered bleach is more potent, so definitely keep that in mind. And I'm spraying all the areas that I have sublimated on, including I'm trying to carefully go around my pumpkin and make sure I get that area really, really well. But you're going to notice that I give it a pretty good overall spray down. Well, it's not that I don't like them. I personally am not a fan of creating the shirts that just have the block of bleach right there in the middle and nothing else. So I just really think that adding more bleach gives it some character. You see, I do a little bit of misting here. Now, if you want some true misting, you'll want to make sure to choose a spray bottle that has a really fine mist. I'm going to come back and do that in just a minute. I like to do my bleaching in stages, so I'm doing one overall bleach right now, and then I will actually come back and add a little bit more bleach in just a minute. Wow, did you notice the change there? So I had set it up on a time lapse, but the gradual change wasn't quite as impactful. So it did occur. Now that probably took about 5 minutes. What I'm doing is I'm going back and I'm resaturating the areas where I've sublimated. And this is with a smaller bottle, so I have more control over where I'm spraying. And I'm going to let this sit for just a minute, but another important thing to remember is when you take this inside, you do want to, at a minimum, rinse it with cold water. And then some people talk about also adding peroxide to neutralize the bleach. I haven't had to do that, but it's just something to keep in mind if you are in the mood to experiment. But also, as you're carrying it inside, make sure that you do not dislodge the cardboard piece inside because your shirt will still be wet. And then also make sure that you don't brush the shirt up against your clothing because obviously it's covered in bleach. So overall, just try to keep an eye on your shirt. And after you see a little bit of the transformation, you can also straighten it out, flatten it out, and take a look. I like to do that because it gives me a better idea of how the bleach process is going because I can compare my bleached area against the unexposed areas and see how much change there really was. Now here we are on the inside. I have already rinsed this with cold water. I feel like I got pretty good results on my bleach shirt. You can see I got a pretty good bleach around the design. Okay, and I don't like it when it's just a plain circle right in the middle of your t-shirt. I do like these lighter colors. I think they bleach really well and it's not a stark contrast. So I'm very happy with how this turned out. And I'm going to throw it through the washer and dryer, and then we will take another look. So, do you like it? I mean, I'm not gonna lie, not everybody is with the bleach shirt craze, all right? That's okay. There's no judgment in this zone. This is the safe zone, okay? Now, if you like it, you kind of get addicted to it pretty fast. And if you live in Florida like me, then, you know, having all the sunshiny days to sweat your ear off bleaching shirts, I mean, it just depends on how you feel about that. So, all right, well, I really appreciate you watching today. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you leave them below, and I will come back in and check with you guys. But also make sure you subscribe to the channel because we have a lot of really fun tutorials for you right around the corner. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.